Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment. Oh, the poop show continues. Yep, get to work last night and it was the same situation. The only thing that was different was except for my normal coworkers who, for one reason or another, or another beyond that, I was the only one to show up. And so they had two of the drivers helping me. There were some revelations last night. One of the other people that I work with, not technically part of my group. They have another position that kind of mirrors our job. So they're in the building, but they notified me that odds are pretty darn good they're going to be gone in about 2 weeks. Found something else to do. So we've got one guy that's chronically calling in sick. Another guy who has a back injury. Somebody else who has another job. Someone else who was just terminated. I want to put in my 2-week notice. Nah, you're just gone. Yeah, so I am the Lone Ranger, and there's a whole lot of tontos running around with me. For those of you who have taken Spanish, you know the joke behind that. So yeah, some of the things that came up last night. Well, the new boss wants to take a shift that can function on 3 people, optimally functions with 4. 4 people, you get everything done that the company is demanding, and you're out in a timely manner. There's no issues. 3, you have to cut some things. You get the primary job done. However, they start complaining that this or that is not being done. And then when you do try to do that with 3 people, they complain about how many hours you're getting, which is usually what, 3 extra between the 3 people staying over for an extra hour. 3 hours of pay is just bankrupting the company. But no, this guy, his brilliant ideas, I really think that this can be done with 2 people. He's mentioned this before. The previous time that he was covering for the lack of a second shift supervisor, he had mentioned this before. And everyone was just like, you're crazy. And he's like, I'll make it work. He wants to be known as the guy who can basically cut our shift's budget in half with labor. And that's not happening. And if he tries to make it happen, I'm not going to be there to see whether or not it works, which it won't. There's no way. And as I mentioned previously, one of the issues that we've had with him before was how he got mad at somebody for lagging behind on bagging up the small packages to go onto the trailer, to the point where he was threatening to fire them or trying to fire them for not doing their job. Well, with this new idea he has, there would be nobody doing that position. What you would have is those small packages being set aside, which on a average night, there's too many to just set aside. If you're not bagging them as they come up, you end up running out of space to put these things. So you either take care of it as it's happening, or you create another problem later on. But, after 3 days of this guy being on our shift, he knows everything. Didn't you know that? He knows everything. I mean, hell, you should have known that. That's the attitude that these people have. I know all. I've already figured it out. So of course there's other issues. Why wouldn't there be? Aside from wanting to cut our manpower in half on this shift. I have no idea where that is, or some type of weird plane. It's probably another drone. So anyways, last night we got done with the trailer. We didn't even know we were done. Me and this other guy are standing there. We can't see anybody. Nobody has said anything to us, right? So we're assuming, like, are we waiting for other trucks to come in? What's the scoop? And so eventually, after standing around for a few minutes, thinking like, oh, maybe he had to go take a leak, or we're thinking all kinds of things. And then eventually one of us goes and finds somebody, and we find the old boss. Today is his last day, the old boss who's leaving. And we find him, and he's like, oh, well, we still have a couple trucks, but they don't have anything, so you can just shut it down. And we're both like, when was somebody gonna tell us? Like, nobody bothered to tell us that we could be checking oils in the trucks right now. It could be 10 minutes into that, but no, like, nobody's communicating. So our old boss says, yeah, I know, it's a shit show. And at one point, it wasn't at this point in time, but it was later, he walks by and he just looks at me and goes, he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. And I didn't have to ask what he was referring to. It's like he came to know the person that is replacing him, and he knows. He knows exactly what is going on. So yeah, it's one of those situations. If it was a point of this guy covering until somebody new was hired, we've gotten lucky. The previous guy, he was really good, but it got to a point in his life. This is somebody who ran his own businesses for the longest time, and he finally just wanted a break and let somebody else provide the health insurance. And why can't I just get a paycheck? But no, there was a point where, like, him and his family situation were just like, look, you either figure some shit out, or something here's got to change. Basically what it came down to. And so that happened. Oh, we got some birch trees falling all over the place. So we lost that guy. Then we got the guy we currently have, who is pretty interesting, but he knows that we know how to do our job. Unlike some people. But he saw the writing on the wall and was like, started to realize it's his last ditch effort to really establish something before retirement, and it wasn't going to happen where he was at. So the last thing that came up last night, So after we finally closed the trailer, when we finally found out what the bleep was going on with our shift, we had to check the oils in the trucks. It's a twice a week thing. And nobody likes to do it, including me. But when you do it, as long as you're not griping and bitching and chatting, and you can get it done. One person could do the whole thing in just over half an hour. 2 people, you're done in 20 minutes. And that's if you still have to put oil in a couple of trucks, which there's always 1 or 2 you have to top off. So we're doing that. And the third guy, let me explain the third guy. The third guy is this person that, for some reason, management just absolutely loves this guy. They are constantly kissing his ass. They're fondling his balls. They're just crotch deep in with this dude. He's married. He's got a kid. But he's tall. Apparently, he's regarded as being handsome. It's pretty well known that one of the managers is basically in love with this dude. But that's the thing, is when this guy is working, all they do is talk. That's all that happens, is people come around and he's just talking. And everybody's talking to him and he's talking to them. And it's I'm standing there, hey, dude, unload the truck. We depend on you working for us to get our work done. And right now you're just... But no, that's fine because it's him. And he is one of the nicest guys you'll meet. However, the way that management treats him makes the co-workers fucking hate this guy. Which is unfortunate for him. However, this whole grab ass at the pass anytime that this dude is around is a hindrance upon everybody else. And the thing is, the supervisor will stand there and talk to him for 10-15 minutes while we're waiting to get something to do because he's not doing his job. Then the supervisor will come towards us and say, hey, what's with all the standing around? Keep busy, blah, blah, blah. And we're just do you not understand how this works? Obviously not. It's a dumb question. It's a rhetorical question. I already know the answer. And he doesn't give a shit. It's just the opportunity to have somebody be in trouble. So we're checking the oils in the trucks. This guy takes one of the trucks before my actual coworker could check the oil in it, right? So he parks the truck. The third guy gets out, realizes, oh, this still needs to be checked. So he pops the hood. Keep in mind, he just drove this truck. Pops the hood, pulls out the dipstick, looks at it, says, oh, this needs oil. You just drove the truck. For anybody who's ever checked their own oil or knows how to do it, or the details of doing such a job as checking oil or topping off your oil, you don't check it right after you just drove it because the oil hasn't settled back into the oil pan yet, which means you're not getting an accurate reading. So then my supervisor later comes to me and says, oh, hey, so-and-so, the other guy, said that such and such truck needs some oil. And I just looked at him and said, he knows where the oil's at. And I turned around and kept on walking. Because if you're going to check the oil in a truck and say that it's low on oil, it's your responsibility to make sure it gets the oil that it needs. Because No one else checked it. And we have to sign our initials onto the numbered truck on a list to state, I'm the one who checked this. Yes, it needed oil. No, it didn't. Either way, if it's low and it seizes while out on the job because there's no oil in it, but you say you checked it, your ass is in trouble. If you overfill and blow a gasket because the pressure was too high or something else horrible happens, guess what? You're responsible. So for this guy to check the oil in the truck and then for the supervisor to make it somebody else's responsibility to put oil in it because somebody else is too fucking lazy to do it, I have a huge issue with that. Don't tell me to do somebody else's job. I did not check it. I am not filling it. I am not having my initials put on it. So no, he had the other guy who was actually helping me. He had him top it off. And I'm just like, this is bad. This is gonna be fucking bad. So after that point, we still had shit to do. We still had packages to run up the belt for the next day. We still had the safety washes to do, making sure that all the backup and brake lights were cleaned off for the next day. So what does the supervisor do? Oh, there isn't that much left to do. Hey, third guy who's everybody is kissing his ass, you can go home early. So one of those jobs that if you have two people doing it, you could be done in between 10-15 minutes, turns into a 25-30 minute job because it's one person instead of two, removing packages from the belt and stacking them for the next day. There used to be this sense on my shift of teamwork where everybody worked together to get the job done as quickly as possible because everybody would like to go home. But no, the special guy, who I kind of feel bad for hating right now, he gets to go home because everybody just loves to just spread his cheeks and go blah, 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 blah. So I don't get it. Oh, there goes some sandhill cranes over the hill. I don't even know if that's picking up. Guess I spooked them. So yeah, that's what's going on. And unfortunately, this third dude that I've been talking about, his seniority is at a point where if these other people do not come back to my shift, guess what? Guess who I'm working with? And there's going to be some night in the future, if I'm still there, where what's going to happen is he's going to check like half the trucks and be like, hey, these 3 need oil. What do you want me to do about it? I got my shit done. Don't think for a minute I'm doing your stuff. And then the supervisor will come by and say, hey, so-and-so said that these trucks need oil. I don't know why you're looking at me. Homie, don't play that. That is not something that I do. That is not my thing. It will never be my thing. Yeah, we'd like you to do somebody else's job. Yeah, I'd like a lot of things too. Have a nice day. They get paid the same as me, correct? Technically, depending on the job they're doing, they might get paid more than me, correct? Perhaps they should earn that, because I've already been doing the majority of the work this shift. So that's it. That's what's going on. And the weird thing is, before I even started making this video, I got the text message, hey, you are working blah blah blah, start time is this. And I kept looking at it. I'm like, something is not right here. Why do I get a bad feeling about this? Why is my phone number the only one that's on this group chat? So yeah, tonight could be very interesting considering everything. And I thought quite a bit about this, and I'm just like, and I've done the math. I've done all the math on it, and I'm like, well, here's the things I'd be able to do if I didn't have this job, which is quite a bit, right? It's amazing how a 2.5 to 3 hour shift in an evening, not, not including the hour drive time there and back, it's amazing how much that eats up your day. And then there was the whole like, well, my other job already pays the bills. It already does all of that. So yeah, 2025, perhaps. I am just exhausted of working for and under douchebags, especially ones that are younger than me that have no business running anything, because what is their talent other than just being a cocky asshole who thinks that they know better than everyone who's been doing the job for the last 5 years? I do not understand how these people reach these positions. Well, they have the qualifications and, probably went to school. And school is not something, just because you have a degree, you don't automatically get respect from me. I've met too many stupid college students over the years, and usually they're in management. Oh, what do you mean we can't do it like that? Oh, I didn't think about that, because you've never fucking done this before in your life, like having a job. So yeah, that's what's going on. That's about it for me on this topic. Hope everyone's doing well. Remember to like and subscribe, because apparently if you don't say that, people don't do it, I guess.